Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ink Spot, where you can catch live stream coverage of doubleheader girls and boys basketball games next Friday and the Friday after that. Coach Witzig, we'll start with you. At the halfway point in the season, what would you say this team's identity is? I know you talked about pace and space, but what would you say it is right now?
Yeah, we talked earlier in the year about how we wanted to play faster, and we're definitely doing that. We're scoring in the 70s and 80s, and the most offensive of any team I've ever coached here as far as how many points we're putting on the board. And we also give up a lot of points, too. We gave up 96 in Equal Valley, so we almost had an NBA score and lost to a really good team. But I think we're trying to do what we're trying to do. You know, we're pressing. It's fast-paced. The ball is moving. We're shooting a lot of threes, trying to get layups. And so the guys have bought into what we're trying to do.
Coach Feeney, after a relatively rough start to the season, so the Iron now rolling, winning 7 out of their last 8 games. What changed?
I think our team has kind of gelled. We've figured out, you guys were just talking about identity, our team has figured out the way that we need to play, how hard we have to play. But I think in the early part of the season, we were each kind of trying to survive, if that makes sense. It wasn't by any means selfish, but each kid was trying to find their niche. And now we've been able to kind of find that and then to worry about making each other better instead of just fighting for kind of trying to survive on my own, if that makes sense. So we've gotten really comfortable with getting paint touches, but then kicking out for threes, which has helped us offensively and take some pressure off of our guards that we're utilizing an inside attack to start the game. And then we've gotten a lot better just at playing tougher, fighting through screens, diving for loose balls, doing a lot of the little gritty things that sometimes don't show up on the stat sheet, but definitely help you win games.
You talked about Intercity and the State Farm Classic not being as high stakes as postseason play or Big 12 tournament, but what does it mean for a team to bring that hardware in the first half of the season?
You know, what's fun about the State Farm Classic is you do get, it's kind of like a little mini regional or postseason feeling. So as you're moving through the bracket, you get bigger crowds and more intensity. And so we played in the championship game and beat Rock Island, which was an important win for our season. It's just fun to play in those atmospheres. So that's not the most important thing, but you want to be in those kind of games to get the feel of what's going to be like. And so it had a really big game feel when we played Rock Island because of our rivalry with them and how good they are and great crowd. And so yeah, those are great moments and that you can build on from there.
And they're not on your normal schedule this season. So what does it mean to get a look at them in that championship game?
Yeah, it's probably okay. They're not on our schedule. They dropped us. Kind of like we have played them every year for maybe the last 10 years in the regular season game in December. And I don't know why they dropped us, but we have met them a lot in the State Farm Classic. So we'll probably see them again.
Yeah.
In March somewhere, and Rock Island's actually hosting the sectional, so if we both won a regional, we'll have to play them on their home floor, and it's not an easy place to play. So it was really good to get a head-to-head and get to feel. You know, you can watch a lot of film on them, but then when you're playing them up close and you can see them and what they do, and yeah, they're not easy. So that was a great win for us.
Coach Feeney, the Iron are currently 5-1 in conference play. What specifically, obviously besides being great, do you feel that your players are doing very well?
I think just playing more confidently. I think they've seen that we can do it. I think in the early going, they doubted. And quite honestly, maybe they sense that from us because we were trying some different things and now we've kind of solidified and simplified, hey, this is how we're going to play and this is also who we're going to kind of roll with. And so that's always a challenge to find those things as the season goes along. But the win we just had over in Will West was really big in the conference. And to win on the road against a team that had beaten us and quite honestly had beaten us fairly handedly earlier in the season. So I think when you stack together some experiences like that, your team kind of learns who they can be and that it will work if we buy into defending, sharing the ball. If we do those things, then the sky's the limit.
Sophomore Chase Gasson continues to impress on all facets of the game. When he gets going downhill, it feels like he's going to score and get to the line. He's grabbing almost every rebound. What can you say about his versatility and what impact he has on the game?
Yeah, Chase is a true scorer at, they say all 3 levels. He has a great three-point shooting touch. He can drive the basket and score in the paint. He can post up He's done that before, and he's getting fouled a lot, so he's getting the free throw line. So he's getting close to over 100 free throws this season, and I've been tracking that since I've been head coach, and that is a real key. If you can have a player get over 100 free throws in a year, it's a huge help for your team. And so he has a real benefit of the way we're playing. We're spreading out. He's our 4-man, and so he has a bigger guy guarding him because we have 3 guards in there, and so he's able to take his guy off the dribble. He's made some good passes, when they double team him and stuff like that, so that'll really help. But yeah, he's been scoring at a high clip, and he's taking great shots.
Coach Feeney, now that we're more than halfway through the season, are there any players that are doing really well and have maybe exceeded your expectations?
Well, it starts with Jocelyn Schild. I think she has really grown from where she was in the beginning of the season. She didn't get to play freshman basketball because she'd gotten hurt in her freshman season of volleyball at her old school. And so when we brought her to the varsity, I know that she had some anxiety, almost saying, like, I've never even played high school basketball before. And she knew she was getting thrown right in, and we knew that. And I think it definitely took her some time to get comfortable, both with playing and with us. But she has been just a force here of late. Not really just scoring, although she does that as well. But rebounding has just been huge. And something that, since she has a little foot injury right now, that's something we've missed the last couple of games. But Lily Witzig has been really shooting the ball extremely well. She was 6 for 8 here in our most recent game from 3. That always helps. If we can shoot 75% from 3, that's a good thing. But Haley Michaels, Zoe Wilde, Sophia Mack, Taylor Williams, those kids have just continued to gain in confidence, and also done a lot of little things like, again, getting on the floor for loose balls, setting good strains, running the floor in transition. We just watched some film yesterday of part of the reason that Lily's open from 3 is because Annie Oliver sprinted the floor and got to the rim and stuck the defense in. A different play, Sophia Mack sprints and gets to the rim. Looks like she's going to have a layup. A kid reacts late and goes in, and that leaves Zoe Wilde wide open in the corner for a 3. So all those little things that, again, sometimes don't show up in stats, we're seeing those, whereas early in the season, I kind of felt like we were missing some of those things. And Haley Michaels and Zoe Wilde are just being great floor generals for us, and sharing the basketball and pitching ahead and getting it to the open person, and really carrying the mail as far as handling the ball for us, which, again, sometimes goes unnoticed, but not by coaches.
Andrew Nauer and Trey Bird, both seniors, continue to improve their experienced guards. What does that poise provide when you see a lot of full court presses in this conference play?
Right, yeah, those 2 guys, I knew coming into the year they're going to be a great part of our season, because as they started as juniors on a team that won 28 games last year, and so they've been on the floor in huge games last year, and now they're doing it again. Trey actually kind of hurt his foot a little bit, so he's going to be in a boot maybe for a while. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Maybe he'll play this Friday, or maybe it'll be a little bit, so we don't know yet. So, but both those guys have been great. They have they're one of our leaders in assists, kind of like what Coach Feeney just said. They bring the ball against pressure, so they're not always getting the buckets, but those things you have to have. We're getting ready to play Manual on Friday night, and it will not be easy to get the ball up the court, and so we're really gonna have to rely on those, Trey plays now, or Mitchell Potts, and those guys. So great leadership. Now we're shooting the ball really well now too. He's hitting threes. He made 5 threes in our last game, and Trey has had some great scoring games, so they can score. They play great defense. They get steals, deflections, tie for loose basketballs, all those things too. So they've been a great job as our senior backcourt.
Coach Feeney, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's the biggest challenge you face as a coach this year?
I think solidifying our lineup, quite honestly. We were talking as a staff that in the 5 years previous for this, we were so blessed in that we really only had like 4 different starting lineups, because it was just kind of like, this is who we're going to roll with. It lets everybody get comfortable and get a roll. This year, it's been a little bit more up in the air, whether that was because of some injuries, whether that was just because we were trying out different combinations. But whenever you do that, it also throws everybody into a little bit of discomfort, right? And so I think it helps us grow, but it also is definitely a challenge. And then you have to have some tough conversations with kids. Ashlyn Wellborn is a perfect example. I didn't mention her previously, but she's been kind of an X factor for us. Has moved into the starting lineup early in the year, was playing some post for us. Now has moved to a wing, is more comfortable at wing. When Joe got hurt, we kind of needed her to move back inside, which is, again, out of Ashlyn's comfort zone to some degree. But she's handled that really well. Other seniors that have kind of moved in and out of even playing time. Izzy Beckler, Ella Michalak, Brittany Camp, Ava Turner. Those are not always easy conversations to have because sometimes they're playing a lot and sometimes they're not playing very much, if at all. But those kids have handled it incredibly well. But that's definitely been the toughest thing of the season because they are unbelievable kids. And as a human being, you definitely want those kids to be rewarded. But we have a saying in our program that when you're out, you're in. Like, even when you're not in the game, you got to be fully invested. And one thing I'm super proud of those kids on is if you watch our bench, like, their energy is incredible. And they celebrate bigger than anybody when we have moments of success on the floor. But it's definitely tough as a coach because you want those kids to have success because they're such great kids and bought into the team. And I hope they see their success in what our team has accomplished, as you said, winning 7 of our last 8.
When you have a fast lineup and you can break the press and get out in transition, you can score a lot, but that can turn into some sloppiness. When do you know when to scale it back and to get into the half-court sets and really let your offense settle in?
Yeah, it would be nice if we had a shot clock this year. I mean, we played a lot of games with a shot clock. This week tournament had the shot clock, so it was nice and to play with that because there is still part of me, old school, that wants to stall a little bit when you get the lead to back up and stall. We call it yellow. But we are pushing it and we want to go fast, but then, yeah, that's a real key. Can you recognize that you don't have a fast break, you don't have a quick shot? Now we need to run our offense and run a play and do a great job. And so our last game we had against a good Wabanzi Valley team, we had so many assists on guys penetrating, drawing the defense and kicking it out. It was really fun to watch. And so I think that's what I look for more than just how fast we shoot the ball or when we do it. But is it the shot we won? Is it an inside-out 3? Our guys attacking the basket? Like Trey is really able to get to the basket and get a left-hand layup. And so we're trying to get layups and threes. And so if it's early or late, that's what kind of shot we want to get. So that's why I wish we had a shot clock, because then you can kind of dictate a little more too. Yeah. When you do that. I really like the way our offense is playing right now.
Coach Feeney, the Iron will travel to play Peoria Manual at their place.
Mm-hmm.
What are you kind of coaching your players to do as Peoria's kind of is like they're a high scoring team?
Yeah, the first thing that jumps out is Manuel's super physical. They're very physical. They're big and strong. Rebounding is going to be a key. Matching their physicality as far as being able to play with our feet and body up without just using our hands and putting them on the free throw line. They get to the free throw line quite a bit. And then just kind of sustaining our effort for 32 minutes. And so Peoria Manuel's a very talented team, a very good team, well-coached team, but they kind of ride the waves a little bit of momentum. And so we have to make sure that we're just sitting solid for 32 minutes because they're going to have some peaks and valleys. Early in the year, that was us a little bit. We'd have some peaks and valleys, and hopefully we're getting to where we can play consistently for 32 minutes. And that's kind of what's allowed us, not only during this stretch, but in years past. That's kind of what we've been known for, that we're just going to wear you down, over the course of a game, that hopefully we're not going to beat ourselves. And I think that's who we're becoming. And so I think Friday will be a great test of that, because Manuel's, again, a very good team, a very physical team that's going to challenge us and challenge our composure a little bit at their place.
Your only 3 losses come against Peoria, Morton, and Neuqua Valley. What did you see that those teams did well, and where have you seen room for improvement with your squad?
The Morton and Neuqua Valley game were very similar. We played those 2 teams, run great offense. They're going to get the shot that they want, and the Neuqua Valley coach is like an offensive genius, so I just got out. I mean, I didn't have any help for our guys on what to do defensively against them because of the way he runs his offense. But those 2 games were similar to that. We were giving up shots to guys we didn't want to give up shots to, and they were running great offense. Peoria High just kind of manhandle us that game in December, and so that's what Peoria Man is going to try to do. It's going to be physical, and they're going to be up into us. And I kind of feel like when we play a Manual, when we get off the bus, they're waiting for us to guard us all the way in. So it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy place to play. It's kind of interesting because the students at Normal Community, they play Manual in all their sports, and they're not good in really any other sport. But basketball, they're great in basketball. They have a great tradition and a lot of pride in basketball, and so it's going to be a battle. So we're going to have to take care of the ball, and we're going to have to be physical back. When you talked about their physicality, you got to match their physicality. Otherwise, you're going to get shoved around. And when you're in Peoria, you get some Peoria refs too. And so we always tell our guys, you can't be looking at the refs with your palms up because it's going to be a different kind of game, which is what makes basketball fun. We were at Wheaton for 4 games in the suburbs. We had suburb refs, ref completely different than a Peoria ref does. And so you have to you just have to keep your head on straight and play the way you're supposed to.
I have one more question. You talk about the MLK tournament, you see a lot of the suburban teams, and you have East Peoria, Richwoods coming up, some tough tests coming ahead. How does that prepare you for the postseason with a schedule like this?
Well, first of all, it's fun to play teams like that. It's fun to play the suburb schools because they're different. Suburb schools run a million set plays. Yeah. Peoria schools are run and gun. And so you get these completely different. It's just fun to play different kinds of styles during the year. The Richwoods game is going to be huge, not only the conference, but for our postseason seeding. The East Peoria game is just going to be really fun because they have a guy going to U of I, and we played him in the summer, and we had some conversations with him in the summer. So it's going to be just a really fun game at Normal West on a Saturday night. So, you want to play fun non-conference games that get you they get better too. But those are the kind of games you look back on in the summer, or look back on years later and say those are just really fun games to play in. The Nico Valley game, we got beat 96-79. We were in it at some point, but we played 2 guys who are going to be playing college basketball. One of them is going to U of I, and one of them hasn't signed yet. So they'll be playing on ESPN. So it's fun to play those teams through the year. By the way, you guys are wearing your Illinois stuff, and I'm wearing a Liberty shirt. I don't know if you guys can see it. So I'm wearing a Liberty University because former Ironman Zach Cleveland is playing for Liberty and having an unbelievable basketball season. So I'm really proud of him. And so if you have a chance to check out Zach, look him up.
And Noah Cleveland doing a great job at Illinois Wesleyan.
Yeah, those guys are dunking like crazy. So.
Yep. Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us. Thank you guys for joining us. And make sure to tune into our doubleheader coverage next Friday and the Friday after that for the girls and boys basketball teams.